This is a production of WKNO Memphis. Production funding for Sports Files is made possible in part by the WKNO Production Fund, the WKNO Endowment Fund, and by viewers like you. Thank you.
My guest today on Sports Files is the tournament director of the FedEx St. Jude Classic, Phil Cannon. Before we dive into this year's FedEx St. Jude Classic, let's talk a bit about the Grizzlies season, which came to an end Monday night when the San Antonio Spurs completed a 4-game series sweep in the Western Conference Finals. The Grizzlies season, in a nutshell, well, was the most successful in franchise history. 56 regular season victories set a new benchmark. Records were also set for home and road wins. The Grizzlies rallied to win their opening round playoff series against the Los Angeles Clippers and their conference semifinal round set with the Oklahoma City Thunder after trailing both. The team made the Western Conference Finals for the first time in team history, but ran into a Spurs team that was playing at an altogether different level. The result was a disappointing effort by the Grizzlies. But while the series was hard to stomach, the season was a smashing success. Now comes some big off-season questions that will be examined in the weeks to come, such as Lionel Hollins' fate as head coach. And will the team re-sign defensive stopper and fan favorite Tony Allen? Of course, we'll keep you up to date with any and all Grizzlies news right here on Sports Files. Moving on. One of the annual rituals of the Memphis sports scene is to walk the grounds of TPC Southwind each June and follow some of the greatest golfers in the world as they battle in the FedEx St. Jude Classic. The challenge each year for the staff of the FESJC is to put together the most attractive field possible, which is not always easy, especially when you throw in the fact that the U.S. Open directly follows the Memphis event on the schedule, and there are many golfers who want the week off to prepare for the major. However, despite the obstacles, tournament director Phil Cannon and his staff work diligently to make the field as good as it can be, and this year is no exception. They have scored big with a commitment from 4-time major winner Phil Mickelson. They have added 2012 FedEx Cup champion Brandt Snedeker, and defending champion Dustin Johnson is returning to defend his title. As for the hardworking, dedicated tournament director Phil Cannon, nothing gives him more satisfaction than to put together a great field, put on an incredible event, and make golf fans happy. And that's what he's been doing for many years. Today we walk 18 with the heart and soul of the FedEx St. Jude Classic. Phil Cannon, next on Sports Files. Phil, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me, Greg.
One of my favorite events that Memphis holds each and every year. So when I see you, I know it's right around the corner. We got the FedEx St. Jude Classic really getting kick-started Sunday. But tomorrow, Phil, as you know, is the player entry deadline. Before we talk about the players that are entered, any last-minute additions? Are you expecting anybody to enter the field here in the last few hours?
No, we added Padraig Harrington, a 2-time major winner, and Vijay Singh, who's well known to the Memphis audience here earlier this week. So don't have any tricks up our sleeve. Got our fingers crossed for Davis Love III still. He has not said no yet. So that probably is the last big piece of the puzzle to fall into place.
I think everybody knows the challenges of trying to put together a field right in front of the U.S. Open, and you guys do a spectacular job each and every year. This year, no exception. I know you like this field that you guys have playing this week in the FedEx St. Jude Classic, or next week, as I should say.
Yeah, we have a great field, led by Phil Mickelson, number 2 player in the world, basically. The young 14-year-old Chinese golfer who made the cut at the Masters, Guan Tonglong, will be playing with us. Brandt Snedeker is in the field. In fact, we've got 10 of the top 20 in the FedEx Cup points race this year. So some names that probably some viewers might not be as familiar with. D.A. Points is in the field, for instance, and then a lot of winners from this year. In fact, some of our former winners have already won this year, including our defending champion, Dustin Johnson, who got off to a great start in the first event of the year in Hawaii. Brian Gay's already won this year. Freddie Jakobsen is definitely a man to watch next week, who's a perennial. He's back from Sweden. Great international field. Retief Goosen, David Toms, Justin Leonard, some international players and former winners that people are familiar with. So all in all, it's going to be an outstanding field for the golf fans of the Mid-South.
You've had quite a history of winners over the years, colorful winners, big names, obscure names that have come out of nowhere to win your tournament. But what's it like to have a guy with a name as big as Dustin Johnson defending your title? It's
very big. Being able to use his picture and collateral that needs to start into production in January is huge. We're not like most sports. We don't know our product until literally 48 hours before the curtain goes up. So we don't have the luxury of including, for instance, Phil Mickelson's picture in our literature and on our website, on our tickets and the souvenir program. And so much of the effort to sell the golf tournament takes place in November and December and January. So getting people to think about golf and to recognize the magnitude of our event with the champion like Dustin Johnson is huge.
Well, speaking of the hard work you have to put in to lure these players to Memphis, how did you get Phil Mickelson? I know he's been here before, but it's not like he comes every year and likes to play every time the week before a major. How'd you pull it off, Phil?
Well, the perseverance and the hard work and the sophisticated email campaign and the suave personality and the site visits to other tournaments didn't have anything to do with getting him here. Our event was literally in the way of his schedule.
So you lucked in, or?
Love to take credit for it, but you know, the week before the Open, some guys decide they want to practice and become tournament ready the week before the Open, so it's a great date. Other guys decide they want to skip the Open and skip the week before the Open and go on to the Open site the week prior. In that regard, it's not such a great date, but we've had the week before the Open for 7 years now, and it looks like we're going to have it for an 8th year next year. We're trying to firm up the dates for next year as we speak, and the week prior to the Open is probably about as good a date as we can hope for, and we find ourselves in the position of having a player like Phil Mickelson almost every year.
You mentioned the 14-year-old from China, Guan. To get a young man like that who just blew the golf world away by not only playing in the Masters to qualify to play, but to make the cut. What does that mean to go for fans around here to see, and I hate to say novelty, but right now it is, a 14-year-old playing with the big boys and playing that well?
Well, first and foremost, we're in the entertainment business. And it takes that novelty and that headliner sometimes to break through the clutter. And heaven knows we've had our fair share of media clutter the past 6 weeks with the great run that the Grizzlies have made. But having Guan in the field is helpful from just a publicity standpoint. Case in point, we announced Brandt Snedeker and Ian Poulter 3 weeks ago, and it was on C1 of the Commercial Appeal, front page, one column to the right, beside a big picture of Mike Conley. We announced Phil Mickelson 2 weeks ago. He's on the front page of the Sports, C1, across the top of the front page. We announced Guan, and he's on the front page of the paper, A1, literally above the fold, where everybody sees it when they pick up their morning paper. So it might be a little blasé to use newspaper analogies, but that does indicate the star power of that announcement. And so we're real happy he's coming. Incidentally, I was calling him Juan for a long time. Somebody reminded me he's not from Mexico. He's from China, so it's not Juan, it's Guan.
Pronounce the G.
I've been practicing that all day.
He gets a sponsor's exemption.
Yes.
How many sponsor's exemptions are there, and who else are getting them?
Well, we have 8 sponsor exemptions to give. In a normal year, we would have 4 of those that could go to any golfer that we so choose. And the other 4 have to go to members of the PGA Tour. Well, this year, because of the shortened PGA Tour season, they only gave us 2 sponsor exemptions in the open category.
Okay.
The other 6 have to be members of the PGA Tour who are not otherwise exempt.
I see.
Now, if all of the players get in who want to play, then we get 4 of those spots back. So sponsor exemptions is a very complicated category. It's, quite frankly, we spend a lot more time on sponsor exemptions than we need to. We don't know until tomorrow afternoon's deadline at 5 o'clock who will be in the field on their own number to know how many spots we have back. So we have not awarded any other sponsor exemptions to this date, and it's a very unusual year. A lot of agents, when they talk to us, a lot of players, when they talk to us, are confused about the current set of rules that the tour is operating under. But it'll all sort itself out tomorrow afternoon about 5 o'clock.
Well, let me ask you this, Phil. John Daly, a fan favorite, of course, he brings a lot of followers. He's here annually. Is he in on his own accord, or is he waiting for an exemption?
No, John Daly currently is in on his own number.
Okay.
But if 3 players come in above him right now, it'll knock him down to first alternate, and then we would have to use a sponsor exemption for it. So I can't tell player A, B, and C that they're in the field till I know who is in the field.
Did you go to MIT to figure this stuff out? Harvard?
I'll tell you what, it's 25 years of practice, and I'm still confused. So.
Well, Phil, always great events that coincide with the actual tournament itself, and it gets kick-started on Sunday. Tell everybody about what's going on at TPC Southwind, how they can get tickets, how they can come and take advantage of it.
Thank you for that opportunity. We ought to go on the road as Abbott and Costello. Our after-hours events, we call them, are sponsored this year by Campbell Clinic. And the Campbell Clinic After Hours kicks off with our Sunday at Southwind Family Festival at 5 p.m. Sunday. The Gary Gowan Soul Review playing a jazz concert. The Dennis Walters Trick Shot Show back. We'll have some hitting stations for the kids. This is a great opportunity for the fans to come to Southwind and enjoy themselves for a relaxing afternoon. And then Monday is our first Pro-Am, the Danny Thomas Pro-Am. John Daly will be in that. Guan Tong Long will be playing in that event as well. That's at 1 p.m. this Monday, June the 3rd. And then on Tuesday, we have a great new event, Executive Women's Day. It's an all-day set of meetings with 150 of the best business leaders in the Memphis area, female business leaders. We do have a few seats left for that. It starts with a breakfast, then they take behind-the-scenes tours, a luncheon speaker, Molly Fletcher, who is the female Jerry Maguire, for those of you who want to Google Molly Fletcher, great dynamic speaker, and then a wind down in one of our hospitality venues to wrap up Tuesday. And then Wednesday is our WinterWorld Pro-Am. We've actually sold the Pro-Am to WinterWorld this year. Not a big celebrity emphasis this year. Last year we had a lot of celebrities because of St. Jude's 50th anniversary, but this year it's mostly just the amateur golfers along with their pro partners. So that's an all-day event. Thursday, the big boys tee it up for $5.7 million, 156 golfers playing golf for 4 days. Friday afternoon at Friday afternoon at 7 o'clock, we're going to show Caddyshack on the big screen TV at the 18th green. Now, Caddyshack, I came to find out, was an R-rated movie. I don't remember much of it. So I went back and did some edits and got with our production company. So our movie night, Friday night, lasts from 7 to 7:15. Like a 15-minute movie, you know, taking all
It's like the caddy swim in the actual movie. It is.
And then Saturday night, when play ends at 5 p.m., the Will Tucker Band is another event on our Campbell Clinic After Hours lineup. Sunday afternoon, after the final putt, we'll make the award ceremony, and CBS will leave the air at 5 o'clock with a new champion.
Phil, obviously for the golf itself, you need tickets. Do you need tickets for for Sunday, for example? Is it free, or do you need a ticket to get out there?
Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday are free at Southwind. Wednesday through Sunday of next week, when the competition takes place, including the Pro-Am, adults need a ticket. Those 15 and under do not need a ticket. Tickets are $35 at the gate, but you can still buy them in advance online at stjudeclassic.com or call our office where you'll find the one-day ticket for $30. We also have a family pack that is good for 4 adult admissions, 4 hot dogs, and 4 soft drinks for $74.
What are you hearing about the course from the superintendent?
Well, the golf course is going to be in good shape. It's going to be a good golf course. We've got 10 more days, roughly, well, maybe 5 more days once this show airs, of hot weather, 70-degree nights. But we had a cool, wet spring, and a couple of the golf greens are not as good as we would hope they'll be. But they have 5 more days. A lot can grow into that time. As case in point, May the 15th, we had 2 days with a high temperature over 80 degrees.
Right.
The average is 17. we had, as of May 15th, we were 6.5 inches over normal, and we had a good 3-4 inch gully washer about a week ago. So
right.
we're a good 8 to 10 inches above normal. So we need some hot, dry weather right now to let the greens mature, and then we'll see a golf course, you know, a week from now that as the guys finish up, that'll be in prime condition.
We normally get that weather at this time, so hopefully Mother Nature will cooperate. Without going into too much detail, how many more years left on the current contract with FedEx as title sponsor, and are you working on trying to continue that for years to come?
1 and yes.
Yes,
for a simple answer.
I did ask.
Right.
Expound on it a little bit.
Okay. We do have 1 more year with the FedEx contract, and then FedEx has signed their relationship with the PGA Tour through 2017. So I can't imagine that we're not in really good shape with FedEx to host the tournament at TPC Southwind at least through 17 and beyond.
How early do you and your staff start working on players?
That's a pretty good question, Greg. We will start visiting tournaments in January. The FedEx team and our general chairman, Jack Sammons, were out at the Phoenix Open in February. I attended the Honda Classic in March. We had a player, a staff member, Daryl Smith, our tournament manager, was at the Wells Fargo Championship in last month, and in fact talked to Rory McIlroy. Had a chance to visit with Roy. Roy had St. Jude's logo on his bag that week. So it was an opportunity to talk to him. And at that time, he told Daryl that he probably was going to go to the Open, 50-50 shot that he'd be here. But we've since learned that Roy won't be here. But we did get another Roy in this week's commitment list, golf's other Roy.
Who's that?
Rory Sabatini.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
South
so he has
African.
not played here in a long time, and we're looking forward to hosting him.
You've been doing this a long time. Do you ever get tired of it?
No, I don't, Greg. I'm blessed. I have one of the great jobs in America, and you know, there's only 42 tournaments on the PGA Tour,
right.
So I've been very blessed. Don't take it for granted. My job, literally during tournament week, is to stay out of the way and let the hard work of the 1,800 volunteers take over and produce the event. And if I insert myself, I usually end up screwing something up. So we only have 5 full-time staff members. We rely on about 25 or 30 volunteer salespeople to help us sell during the winter months. And then we have 1,800 volunteers that descend on the golf course. And to this day, they do things and accomplish things that I have no idea that they've ever been done. And I'll find out after the tournament, how long we've been doing that?
Exactly.
Oh, 5 years. Oh, great.
It's important to have good people around you. And as a member of the media for many years here in Memphis, my appreciation to you and your staff for what you guys do. Like I said, this is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, event of the year in sports in Memphis.
Well, we are running an adult day camp for 7 days.
Exactly.
And it is so much fun.
And as a golf fan,
right.
I love it. Phil, thank you, but you're not done yet.
Okay.
You're not off the hot seat. It's time for 5 for the road. I'll give you a question, quick answer, first thing that comes to mind.
Go.
What is your favorite professional sports team? You can't say the Memphis Grizzlies.
New York Yankees.
The New York Yankees. Why is there a connection?
Just love baseball and the pinstripes. My late father-in-law lived with us for 5 years, and he would pull for the Red Sox, and I'd pull for the Yankees.
That must have been nice.
And we, between like 300 games a year, I bet you we'd watch 150 of them.
Combination pinstripes and seersucker. That would be a nice uniform.
Is, yeah.
Who's your favorite pro athlete of all time? You could use a golfer if you want for an answer.
You know what? I think I have a lot of respect for Lauren Roberts and the work that he does in our community and for our game. So Lauren's right up there.
Former guest of mine here on Sports Files. Okay, real quick, favorite music, musician? What do you like to listen to?
I'm a huge jazz fan. I'm heading to the Monterey Jazz Festival in September. So any jazz I'm all about it.
Favorite movie of all time?
Ooh, Blazing Saddles.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yes.
You could recite some of those. You might not remember Caddyshack, but I bet you remember all the lines from.
You're right.
Blazing Saddles.
Airplane was another good movie.
It was a good one. So you like comedies?
Yes.
How about Animal House?
Animal House was definitely up there in the top 5.
Another good one. And finally, your favorite TV show, past or present?
Wow.
TV
Seinfeld.
Series. All-time best.
Seinfeld. There's an analogy in life for every Seinfeld episode. It's amazing.
And we'll probably hear some of them on the course next week at the FedEx St. Jude Classic. Phil, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Greg.
Looking forward to seeing you out there next week.
Our pleasure.
That's Phil Cannon. We'll take a short break. When we come back, it's overtime. Stay with us. Did you ever want to get behind the wheel of a real fast race car? How about the same type of car that is used in NASCAR? Well, you can, and you can do so at Memphis International Raceway. It's called the Rusty Wallace Racing Experience. And recently, the Hall of Fame driver spent some time with us in Memphis to share his thoughts on the racing experience.
What is the Rusty Wallace Racing Experience?
The Rusty Wallace Racing Experience is a time where the fans can come out and drive full-blown NASCAR-style cars. And they can get in cars and be driven around the racetrack at high speeds, or they can drive them themselves. And there's different levels of experience, different levels of cars out here also. If you go to racewithrusty.com, there's a whole menu of what you can do. And now recently we just added go-karts. So now we got 25, we bought 25 brand new Italian-built Sodi carts, they're called go-karts. And we got more on order for they can be permanently right here at the Memphis Speedway. But you can come out here and be driven around, like I said, at fast speeds. And this particular car we're standing by, this was one of the NASCAR stock cars that was in competition in NASCAR, runs in the top 5 in speeds. We had this car at the California Speedway. This car ran over 200 miles per hour. So we've got really full-blown race cars here. We got full-blown uniforms, the shoes, the helmets, the new Hans device that NASCAR's mandating. We got all that stuff. We think that our school and driving experience is probably one of the best in the country. We're real proud of it. We've got over 80 of these race cars. We were doing over 380 dates a year. We're going to have over 50 go-karts. So it's a pretty big driving experience. And we really, with my name on it and me being really involved in it, they know that I want stuff first class. You know, that's one nice thing. When you're a NASCAR champion and you got put in the Hall of Fame, people expect a lot of good things out of you. And that's what I expect out of this driving experience. So when people come here, they're going to have a good time.
What does a driver have to do to prepare for race day?
Well, as a driver, you got to be in good shape. You got to, you got to eat the right food. You got to be prepared. The mental alertness is everything in the world. You don't have to be the strongest driver. You got to be able to stand this heat, because inside these cars, on the floorboards, it gets about 170 degrees. And there's coolers that blow cold air through your helmet to keep your brain cool. And so as long as your upper body can stay cool, that's the most important thing. You're losing on an average of anywhere between 5 and 11 pounds per race. That's how much weight. The most weight I've ever lost is 12 pounds at Darlington, South Carolina one time. And I finished second in that race, and I was spent, man, when it was done. So these babies get hot inside, and they're hard to drive.
How's that feel? Is it snug?
Yeah, it feels fine.
Okay, good. You can go ahead and remove that stuff.
That is nice. I mean, how the hell do you guys know when you dive in when there's somebody more? That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh. Wow. That is unbelievable. I don't know how they know where there's cars around them when they're diving down low. And they're right against the wall. Right against the wall. I'm all disoriented.
Yeah, they get close to that wall, don't they?
My gosh. Have you done this?
Yeah. We did when it was the Richard Petty. When I was out here for a track.
I think he was going a little extra for me. I mean, he was diving down that last. I don't know how they dive down. There's cars down there. I don't know where they go.
Yeah, with 42 other cars on the track, can you imagine? That's,
and this is 3/4 mile. They think about the, when they go super speedway and they're diving. That is cool.
Did you have fun?
I did. I really did. I really did. Jarvis Greer, everyone. Jarvis Greer.
I made it. Good to have Jarvo there for support, and folks, I highly recommend it. As we say goodnight, we do so with heavy hearts. In the last 2 weeks, the University of Memphis has lost two respected members of their sports family. First, former All-American offensive lineman Harry Shue passed away on May 20th at the age of 70. Harry was a guest on our Sports Files Super Bowl 47 special earlier this year. He was a tremendous player and an even better person. And just this past Sunday, Frankie Conklin died suddenly at the age of 53. Conklin was one of the most successful cheer coaches and Spirit Squad directors in the entire country and led the University of Memphis to 7 national cheer titles. Our thoughts go out to the family and friends of both Harry and Frankie. And that'll do it for this week's show. Remember, you can see any of our previous shows by heading to our website at WKNO.org and clicking on KNO Tonight. Have a terrific week, and we'll talk to you next time.